Well, first of all, I just want to thank everybody for coming to our press event here. I think one of the things that we've been disappointed in, those of us who are concerned about homeland security or national security, is how much or how little the crisis at the border has been covered, how much it's been ignored. And I don't think we can ignore it. I don't think it probably comes as any surprise that I would come here if I'm leading this and not have a chart. I hope there are plenty of copies of this around that we'll distribute, and we can provide it to you electronically as well. But on a macro basis, this chart really just does tell the story in pretty stark terms. You can see this is not a seasonal migration. This isn't something temporary. When we had the enormous surge in 2018, that dwarfed the humanitarian crisis, according to President Obama, in 2014. But we pretty well had that fixed. President Trump engaged in the agreements with Central America, with Mexico. He enacted policies. He was building a fence. And you can see we pretty well had gotten the unaccompanied children, people exploiting our asylum laws as family units, under control until President Biden, on his first day of office, dismantled all of those successful policies. Now we have an out-of-control situation on the border. It's a significant risk to our national security, which I'm sure many of my colleagues will cover later on. In terms of the numbers, they're pretty stark. In calendar year 2021, over 2 million individuals, I love this, they changed the word on this, they were encountered. When I was chairman of Homeland Security, we called that apprehensions. But even back then, it was people were being apprehended, processed, and dispersed. Now the processing and dispersing is happening so quickly, they're just calling it encounters. But over 2 million in calendar year 2021. Known gotaways, another 344,000. So a total of 2.4 million people in 2021 came to this country illegally. About a little more than 1 million in return. So over 1.2 million people are in this country undocumented, illegally, and quite honestly, we really don't know where they are. 1.2 million people. And put that in perspective, that's a number that is larger than the population of 8 states. And again, we don't even know how many unknown gotaways there were. We don't know the extent of the human trafficking. Although we do know, and by the way, Senator or Vice President Harris ought to know, because she's on my committee, we had testimony that children have been sold for $84 by the human traffickers to create a family unit to exploit our asylum laws. We have no idea the extent of sex trafficking. Although I do know, having gone down and with Democratic colleagues down to Guatemala, I've seen the shelters for sex-trafficked little girls. We know they are given birth control because so many will be sexually assaulted on this dangerous journey. We have no idea the full extent of the drug trafficking. We have no idea the extent of all the gangs and gang members that are coming in here and populating and increasing the number of gangs in our inner cities. We also have no idea how many SIAs. I first heard that term by General Kelly when he was head of Southern Command, special immigrant or special interest aliens. We have heard reports of people from 100 different countries coming into this country illegally. That represents a significant threat to national security. So the bottom line is this didn't just happen. This out-of-control flow of illegal immigration, this crisis at the border, is a direct result of President Biden's policies, aided and abetted by Democrats here in Congress. We've held 3 votes on the floor of the Senate to just build the wall. It's important to recognize we are spending more not building the wall than having completing it. That's a travesty. And what's really a travesty is getting control of our border was the first step. It's the necessary first step to actually fixing our immigration problem, to standing up a functioning legal immigration system, of addressing the DACA kids. You have to first secure the border so the American public has confidence that we're going to do so.